To march as a Roman was to march across the world in nothing but sandals, not boots, not armor for the feet, just strips of leather bound by iron nails. To modern eyes, it seems madness, but to Rome, it was genius, an empire of extremes, from burning sands to frozen forests, and one shoe to face them all. At the heart of the Caligae's power, the hobnail, grip, traction, and a sound every enemy learned to fear. Because long before you saw Rome, you heard Rome. Every soldier's first gift, not a sword, not a shield, but sandals. Because Rome's strength was not in its battles, but in its marches. Even in snow, the Caligae ruled. Why? The answer lies in design. Open straps meant air to dry the feet and drain water before rot could set in. A boot could trap a man in mud. A Caligae could free him. Health was everything to a legion. Feet rotting meant armies rotting, and in the worst terrain, Caligae proved Rome's best weapon. Cheap to repair, easy to replace, built for an army that never stopped moving. And for all their simplicity, they were a soldier's constant companion. Made for the road, made for the march, made for empire. They could march wet, dry, hot or cold. No waiting, no weakness. And in every march, the enemy's feet failed before Rome's. And so the sandal became not just footwear, but a symbol of domination. From the deserts of Syria to the icy hills of Britannia, one design served all. Waterproofing was not about luxury, it was survival. A boot would trap water, a sandal let it go. The Caligae was not just for marching, it was a tool for Rome's vast supply lines. Feet were inspected as carefully as swords, for they carried the empire. A simple swap and a soldier's march could last another 100 miles. That sound, metal on stone, became the heartbeat of Rome. The first march tested not just the feet, but the will. Knowledge of lacing could mean the difference between victory and a limp. Even in burning sand, the Caligae's open design spared soldiers from blisters. The enemy's boots grew heavier with every step. Rome's grew lighter. And in rain, the Caligae held fast where others slipped. A day's march ended not with relief, but with readiness for the next. Layers of leather, stitched and nailed, made them both strong and flexible. Every pair was handmade, built to fit, built to last. From messenger to centurion, sandals kept Rome moving. Even their footprints left a mark of discipline. And to their enemies, those prints meant fear. Even the Alps could not freeze the Roman march. And wherever Rome stopped, the world listened. Order was Rome's armor. Even in rest, every soldier was also a craftsman, for his survival depended on it. A boot would drown in this, a sandal would breathe. Rome's march could not be stopped by mud, marsh, or flood. From iron to leather, each part forged its place in history. Every mark told a story of conquest. Even warriors found comfort in the simple sound of leather crackling dry. And when orders came, sandals carried them to the ends of the earth. Their grip could conquer mountains. Design was no accident. It was centuries of adaptation. And when speed meant survival, sandals gave wings to their feet. The right footing could win a war before the first sword strike. Every scar was a map of Rome's borders. Prevention was the first rule of the march. The open design kept them cool even under the empire's harshest skies. These roads and these sandals built an empire together. The sound was not noise, it was intimidation. And as long as they marched, Rome would stand. From forest to fortress, one step at a time. And where they vanished, legends began. In the heat of the Sahara, boots would suffocate the foot. Sandals gave it breath. Every creak was a reminder. Comfort meant survival. They knew the desert would not forgive slow feet, and yet the same sandals braved frozen Germania. Adaptation was their hidden armor. Even in ice, their grip did not falter. Sandals carried the weight of war season after season. Their design was simple, but genius. Repair was as vital as the march itself. They treated them as they would a sword, with care and respect. With every step, Sandals kept Rome from slipping into defeat. Every mark told the story of a campaign. Some lessons were learned in blood. Experience was passed down step by step. Sandals had marched with them from sunrise to the gates of night. Road and sandal, the empire's twin inventions, and when they wore thin, Rome replaced them, never the design. Each step was an act of war, and some never returned to camp. They walked into shadows and built an empire from them. In the mud, boots would cling, sandals let go. They shed water as easily as sweat. Each nail was a promise, grip until the end. On stone, they held firm where others would slip. Flexibility was their silent ally. The sandals made soldiers, and soldiers made Rome. They never left a soldier's side, even in sleep. Every dawn began with a strap and a step. Boots would drown, sandals swam. Leather, like the men, survived with care. Some marched thousands of miles before falling apart. Entire trades thrived because of them. Adaptability, wood, stone, mud, sand. They would trust their feet more than their shields. Victory left marks no rain could wash away. The sandal could only do so much. The man had to do the rest. Even commerce marched with them. Light feet meant quick retreats and sudden strikes. A loose strap could mean death. They walked in silence, sandals whispering on the path. Sandals had carried them to conquest. Even in war, repairs never stopped. They carried him through more than battles. One design, every world, details forged for eternity. They climbed into history, step by step. To some, they were heroes. To others, conquerors. The mark of a soldier, immortalized, warmth for man and leather alike. They honored the dead with what carried them in life. Even at sea, the march continued. The dawn belonged to those who could walk to it. 2,000 years later, their story still walks. This was the footprint of an empire. They walked through dust, snow, blood, and time, and so the empire marched on open feet, because in Rome the journey was as mighty as the conquest. This was the story of the Caligae, the sandals of Rome, and the sound still walks in history's halls, and the sound still walks in history's halls.